A new law that went into effect this year allows drivers to take their license plates with them when they switch vehicles. But how much does it matter where you put that plate? Robert asks, is it legal for cars to have the license plate in the rear window instead of being mounted on the rear of the car? Here's Victor Puente with the answer to that good question.
Probably not, but it may depend on the officer and the time of day. Kentucky law says drivers shall display the registration plate conspicuously on the rear of the motor vehicle. So it depends on how you interpret the rear of the vehicle. One trooper told me if your vehicle has a designated spot for a license plate, it should be there. The law also says plates shall be kept legible at all times and the rear plate shall be illuminated when being operated during the hours designated in KRS 189.030, basically when it's dark outside. Newer vehicles have lights for the license plate that illuminate it, which is why it should be in the correct position. I also had multiple officers and troopers tell me the important thing is that the license plate is clearly visible, that none of the information on it is obscured. And defense attorney Abe Mashney told me he's represented people who've been pulled over with a temporary tag in their window. The citation was that it wasn't illuminated. So if you put your license plate in the window, there's a chance you could be pulled over and cited. If you have a good question, just email us. Goodquestion@WKYT.com. I'll see you on WKYT Mornings.